Welcome to measurement video number 1. In this video, we're going to start to look at our first unit objective, which is how to convert measurements to scientific notation. So to start with, what is scientific notation? It's basically a method that we use to write numbers that are really, really big or really, really small. So we could use it to write a number more compactly. It's a process of taking any number between 1 and 9 and raising it to a power of 10. So no matter how big or small a number is, we can move a decimal to obtain a number that's greater than or equal to 1 and less than 10. And then you're going to write multiplied, or a times sign, a power of 10. And the value of whatever that exponent is how many places you've moved your decimal point. So here are some examples of standard notation, which is non-scientific notation, and then the scientific notation example. So the number 10 is not a number between 1 and 9, so we are going to move our decimal. We know that the decimal is right now at the end of the number, so you have like 10 decimal place. We're going to move it one place to the left to make it a number between 1 and 9, and we end up with a number 1 times 10 to the first. So the 10 to the first, or that 1 exponent, means that I've moved my decimal one place. The number 100 is also not a number between 1 and 9. So the decimal, which is right now at the end of the number, so you have 100 decimal, it's like imaginary decimal, it's not there, would be making the number between 1 and 9. We would move the decimal 2 places to the left, so we end up with 1 times 10 to the second. Same thing with the number 1,000. Again, not a number between 1 and 9. Our decimal being at the end of the number, we're going to move our decimal 3 places to the left. We end up with 1 times 10 to the third. Pretty simple stuff so far. Okay, so in general, when we're moving the decimal to the left, so if we have a number greater than 1, if you look down, the example is 1,000, our exponent is going to be a positive number. So 1 times 10 to the third. When you have a number that's less than 1, where you have 0.001, we have to move the decimal to the right. We end up with a negative exponent. So sometimes the decimal will be moving to the left. In that case, we're going to end up with a positive exponent. When we move the decimal to the right, when we have a number less than 1, or anytime we move the decimal to the right, we're going to end up with a negative exponent. So the number itself for the exponent is just how many places you move the decimal. A positive exponent is if you're moving the decimal to the left. A negative exponent is if you're moving the decimal to the right. So here are some examples. 10,000, you would move the decimal 4 places to the left, positive number. 100,000, you'd move the decimal 5 places to the left, so 1 times 10 to the fifth. 1,000,000, you're moving the decimal 6 places to the left, so you end up with a number 1 times 10 to the sixth. We could also move the direction the other way. So the number 0.1 is not a number between 1 and 9. To make it a number between 1 and 9, I'd have to move the decimal 1 place to the right, so I'd end up with 1. Since I'm moving the decimal to the right, my exponent is negative 1. 0.01, now I have to move the decimal 2 places to the right to end up with a number between 1 and 9 to the left of my decimal point. So we get 1 times 10 to the negative second. 0.001 will be 1 times 10 to the negative third. I just want you to know that you can put exponents in your calculator. There's an EE button, or there might be an exponent button on your calculator that would be easier for you to perform functions with exponents. Most of the time, the caret takes a little bit of a longer time, and you have to make sure when you're using a caret that the numbers are all in parentheses. I often find students make mistakes when they're using the caret, so just be very, very careful if you choose to use a caret. I would prefer if you use the exponent button. So if you're using the exponent button and you were typing the number 2.5 times 10 to the third, you don't have to write in the times 10 to the third. You could just type in 2.5, then whatever your exponent button is, a lot of times second, then EE, and then the number 3. So you are eliminating that whole times 10 to the step, eliminating error. If you'd like to go over more about how to use the exponent function, I'd be more than happy to help you with that. But it's just another way of putting numbers in scientific notation into your calculator. When you see the E, I don't want you to be concerned. E means the exponent is 3. So if you get something like an answer that says 2.5 E3, that really means 2.5 times 10 to the third. So the exponent is there because it's assuming you know that an exponent is attached to a power of 10, so it's 2.5 in this case times 10 to the third. So sometimes people leave off the EE. You can't leave off the exponent if that appears as an answer in your calculator. That means times 10 to the, can't cut that off. If you're confused about what that means, let's talk about that more in class. But when you see that, recognize that it means times 10 to the, and then whatever number is after the E is what the exponent is following the times 10 to the. So 2.5 E3 is really 2.5 times 10 to the third. Okay. So what I'd like you to do now is we're going to take some time practicing a little bit of putting numbers into and out of scientific notation. So number 9.34 would be 9.34 times 10 to the second. I'm making it 9.34 because I need to make it a number between 1 and 9 to the left of my decimal point. So 9.34 times 10 to the second. The next number is 0.00000215. I have to make it a number between 1 and 9. So I'm going to move the decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places to the right. I end up with 2.15 times 10 to the negative fifth. The next number is 60,214. So this would be moving the decimal, which is at the end of the 4 right now. 1, 2, 3, 4 places to the left. I end up with 6.0214 times 10 to the fourth. And the last one, the number is 8.5 EE negative 2. Remember, the EE just means times 10 to the. So right now, the number is 8.5 times 10 to the negative second. So that means the number would be 0.085. So the last thing we're going to look at here is taking a few minutes to convert the following numbers into and out of scientific notation.